Howdy folks, today I'm out in the garden and I'm getting ready to start my carrots. Carrots are one of the few things that I will directly sow a seed into the garden. They're just so small. As far as I'm concerned, carrots are miserable to even transplant. I don't want to goof with it. So carrots are one of the few things that I'm not going to start as a seedling in a controlled environment to ensure that I have the best conditions for germination. I also don't like to spread these carrot seeds out one at a time because they're so small, they're difficult to manage. So I've got a system here that I use that makes it a little bit easier to get your carrot seeds spaced out and is not nearly as much work. You'll need a measuring device, sand, and something that will hold that sand and your seeds, and will still have enough room in there that you can mix it up. I'm going to use these seeds, one part seeds to 100 parts sand. And if you do the math, what I've got here is half a teaspoon. I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of my carrot seeds in here with 1 cup of dry sand. You will then mix, either by shaking or a stick or something, mix your carrot seeds well up into this sand, and it will disperse them out enough that when you go and you pour your sand out where you want your carrots to grow, the seeds are going to be spaced out and you don't have to do anything other than possibly come back and pull out and thin them. That's what I'm trying to come up with. You'll have to thin them a little bit, but you're done at that point. You don't have to try and transplant them. You don't have to thin them as much. It's actually a pretty slick little system. Alright, I'm all done. The 1 cup of sand and half of a teaspoon of carrot seeds did 10 linear feet of carrots in my grow bed. If you're going to do more than 10 feet, you'll of course want to probably double the amount that I've used. I didn't mention it earlier. Make sure that when you put your seeds in with the sand that you shake the snot out of it. Make sure that the seeds are well distributed inside of that container. This is a pint jar, and you wouldn't be able to get 2 cups of sand in here and the seeds and still be able to mix it up. You could do it in a bowl if you wanted to. I prefer the jar just because it's a little bit easier to pour the sand out and into your garden. If you were going to do 2 cups, I would use the quart jar, and I think I just repeated that. Anyway, the sand, when you use it, the dry sand is much easier to work with. Even if you have to put your sand like in the oven or something for a while to bake it and dry it out, use the dry sand. The wet sand will clump. You can't pour it out of your container. It's a little more difficult even just to mix the seeds into the sand if it's wet. So use the dry sand, and there you go.